Hello, everybody, and welcome. So today we are going to be taking a look at 4 GMT watches. Now, these watches all come in at under $200. Now, you might be thinking, at under $200, what could you possibly expect? Well, I think you're going to be surprised at the actual watches that you can get for under $200, as well as their build quality and just their overall aesthetic. But before I get too far along, if you do see any of the watches that you like here today and you'd like to pick one up for yourself, check out the links in the description below. I'm going to have them all set up there for you to check out. And while you're here, why don't you go ahead and just give me a like and subscribe if you like content like this. Anyway, so without further ado, let's take a look at these 4 GMT watches. Okay, everybody, so let's do a quick wrist check. So today I am wearing the Steeldive SD1970. This is a fantastic watch. I have it on the strap Habit FKM rubber strap. This is the waffle strap. Yes, waffle strap. I'm going to leave a link to the watch and the strap in the description below also, in case you want to pick one of those up for yourself. But anyway, let's get back to the GMTs. So our first GMT comes from a company that is based here in the United States. It is a Timex. Now, Timex has a lot of history dating back to 1844. The Waterbury Clock Company, in fact, was what it used to be called. But the watch we are going to be looking at, that is their GMT offering, is the Timex Waterbury Contemporary GMT. Now, this watch comes in at $199.99, so it's just right below that $200 mark. It has a 39 millimeter case. It is 20 millimeters lug width, and it does have a mineral glass, and it does have 100 meters of water resistance. Now, it is powered by a quartz movement, and it does come on a synthetic strap. Now, the bezel on the watch is unidirectional, so it only goes in one direction. The lume on the watch is pretty decent, and the way you actually set the GMT hand on this particular watch is there's a second button that you press, and that second button will actually advance the hand, the GMT hand, in a half-hour increments so that you can get a better, more accurate time. But overall, I think the watch is really well put together. It is a stainless steel case. I think it is a really nice touch to have that GMT hand have its own setting. I also like the Waterbury second hand with the green. Really good touch overall. Again, $199.99. I think it is a fantastic value, and I think it's something that you might want to take a look at. Okay, so the next one we're going to take a look at is the Glycine Airman Contemporary GMT. Now, you can pick one of these up on Jomashop's website for $154. Now, as you know, Glycine was probably one of the first watch companies out there to develop a GMT movement and to develop a GMT watch. So you get a little bit of history here when you pick one of these up. So what are you getting for your $154 for this particular watch? Well, you're getting a 42 millimeter stainless steel case. The bezel is also stainless steel, and it has the 24-hour markings. The case thickness on this is 14 millimeters, and the lug-to-lug is 51 millimeters with a lug width of 22 millimeters. Now, it does weigh approximately 80 grams, and that is due to the fact that it is powered by the Ronda caliber 515 24H. It is a quartz movement. It comes on a nylon strap, but it does have a sapphire crystal, and it has 100 meters of water resistance, pretty much just like the Timex. Now, what do I think of this watch? I kind of like this watch. It's okay. Now, I will admit reading the 24-hour bezel is going to be a little bit difficult because it is not illuminated. It is not set in a different color than the actual bezel itself. And sometimes the hands can be a little difficult to read unless you're getting one of the brighter colors like the yellow or the red or anything like that. But I think overall, I think this is a really great deal and a really great value for $154 if you're looking to get a GMT watch from a company that really kind of led the way with GMT movements and the GMT watch itself. So why don't you go check that one out if you're looking for something like that? Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so number 3 on our list today is a watch from AliExpress. This is from the company Steelflier. It is the SF791 GMT, and it comes in at $139. Now, if you don't know about Steelflier is pretty much Steeldive. It's just a different version of it. And Steeldive tends to make pretty good watches. So what are you getting for your $139 for this Steelflier? Well, first of all, you'll notice it's given off some pretty heavy Grand Seiko GMT vibes. So there is that. But beyond that, what else are you getting? Well, you are getting a watch that is 40 millimeter case size. It is 13 millimeters thick, has a lug-to-lug of 49 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters. Now, it does weigh 73 grams on the supplied strap that it comes on. It's a leather strap, but you might want to change it out. You might like it. I don't know. It might be up to you. It does have a sapphire crystal with AR undercoating. You do have a water resistance of 200 meters. So this is our first watch with a 200 meter water resistance that is a GMT. So this is a little bit of an upgrade there. You also are getting powered here by the Seiko NH34 movement. So we've moved out of quartz watches and now we are into mechanical watches. This is mechanical GMT, the NH34. Really, really good movement. This is a office or a collar GMT that will be powering this, but it's a GMT and it works really, really well. Obviously, this case material is stainless steel. So what are my thoughts on this watch? I like it. I think it looks really good. Steeldive, Steelflier, they tend to make really good watches for the money that you're spending. $139, you're getting a lot of upgrades over the other two watches that have been previously mentioned. So you do have that. Now, one of the drawbacks that you are going to have is this watch does not have lume on it at all. So reading in the dark is non-existent. You're just not going to be able to do that. But for $139, you're getting a really, really good Grand Seiko homage that has a lot of upgrades and a lot of features in it that you don't see in the other two watches. So that might be one for you to consider as well. So let's move on to our final watch. Okay, so for our fourth GMT watch, I would like to introduce you to Boderry. This is the Boderry Admiral GMT. Now, currently, this watch is on sale, or I shouldn't say on sale. It is on Boderry's website right now for $169. You can also find it on Amazon for $169. This is Boderry's first GMT release. And I must say, you are getting quite a lot for the $169 that you are spending on this watch. So what are you getting for the money? Let's go through it. First of all, you're getting a 40 millimeter case. You get a thickness of 13 millimeters. You do have a lug-to-lug of 49 millimeters and a lug width of 20 millimeters. Now, this is a fully titanium case and strap. So on the strap, the entire case, a whole thing, 116 grams, really light on the wrist. Now, you are getting an aluminum bezel on this watch, but the bezel is two-tone. So if you get the white colorway, you're getting the Pepsi dial. If you get the black colorway, you're getting a Coke dial. Now, the dial is loomed. On top of being loomed, it is bi-directional. So you can go forward or backward. Now, it is a friction-based bezel, but it's really fantastic. It handles really well. You do have a sapphire crystal. You do have some AR undercoating, and you also have a water resistance of 200 meters. So you have a lot to choose from here on this particular watch, being, the Boderry. But overall, I think any of the watches that you're going to see here are just really a good pick for the money. So let's finish this up and move on. Okay, so I actually have one more to show you. Now, let's say you don't have $200 to spend. Let's say you can't even get over 50 bucks as an example. Well, I still got you covered. Yes, Casio, the Casio Royale, the AE1200. Now, if you don't like this particular model, they also have this particular model. Both do the same thing. Now, You can do all kinds of stuff with this one. They have mods on SKX mods. You don't like the resin, you don't like the case, no problem. They can sell you different cases, all kinds of stuff. This is a really fantastic watch. Super awesome. Can't say enough good things about it. Very inexpensive. Can track 5 time zones. Has alarms, stopwatch, countdown timer, you name it. And one of the beauties of this watch is even if you are using it in a different time zone, the circular dial up at the top will always track your home time zone. So even if you are, let's say, in New York City, and on the bottom, the digital readout will show you New York City, but up at the top corner in the little circular area, you will have your own home time zone. So you can keep track of your time zone there. Now, this is really kind of more what they would call a world timer, but still, you can still get GMT type functionality out of a digital watch for under $50. Okay, so there you have it. I actually gave you 5 watches that you can get with GMT functionality for under $200. So I think all of these watches are very well done. You're not going to go wrong with picking any one of these watches at all. So why don't you tell me what you think about these watches? Why don't you leave a comment below and just kind of let me know. And if I missed one, tell me about it. Let me know if there's other watches that you found that are under $200 that have that GMT functionality. I'd really like to hear from you guys. And while you're at it, please consider a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Also, if I have you for another minute and you still want to look at a little bit more detail of that Boderry, or maybe you want to look at another watch, why don't you consider watching one of these videos over here? I bet you're going to find those really informative. Thank you so much for watching.